With you coming back, you were just in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about like your experience in Atlanta and what brought you back here.
Well, my experience in Atlanta was good. Like I went down there, made connections, had representation down there. I worked with a few different people. But the decision that I made to come back to Detroit was I feel like we're in the middle of a revolution, entrepreneurial, artistic revolution. You know, like I feel like in 200 years we'll be discussed, you know, about what happened to Detroit. So I think that was the thing. I really wanted to just bring all the attention that was being brought to my work, being brought with my name. I wanted to have that be shown. I wanted to be in the D. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be. What's that?
We have a call.
Oh. I wanted to show how the positive things that's going on in Detroit. You know, I want all that attention to come here.
And I completely like that as well.
Like not like just go to Atlanta and like, hey, I'm in Atlanta and you know take all my talents down there. When it's like I feel like it's already hustle and bustle down there and everything. You know, like I think that a lot of things are down there just because it's like the cool place to say you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that was my decision.
And coming here, I feel like coming here with all of the artists who are hungry and really like down on their knuckles to be sure that they make it and have that drive really sets us apart from the places like LA, Chicago, Atlanta. Like Detroit is kind of those places that it has a lot of talent and it's just about hustling to get it out there.
Right.
So
right. And we work together too. We work together pretty good, you know, and we all know each other. It's all it's a community spirit. Yeah.
So I see that you are doing something with See Here, and I'd like to hear more about what See Here is.
Okay. See Here Media Group is like a family. Under See Here is me, Tommey Walker LLC, comedian CP, who is a comedian, you know, coming out of the D. Have you heard of CP?
Yes, I follow him.
Yeah, that's mine. Comedian CP, Science Parkway, and commission artist, which is my cousin Marlo Broughton. Let me tell you a funny story about Marlo. Brian Wright was a really close friend of mine. We had a studio in Farmington a couple years ago, and he was working with my cousin Marlo on just some projects. Marlo is an illustrator. I didn't know my cousin at this time. This is crazy, right? So we're working. So I'm like, man, I do a lot of digital art. I sketch here and there, but I wanted an illustrator, you know, to be part of my team. So I'm looking for illustrators, and Brian's like, hey man, you should look at Marlo. You should work with Marlo. So I'm working with Marlo. We worked together for 6 months. 6 months we worked together, build a rapport, our system, everything, right? Get a phone call like, hey, is your Uncle Earl? From Marlo, right? Like, yeah, that's my uncle. He's like, man, that's my uncle. He's like, man, we cousins. I'm like, what? Like, what's up, cuz? So yeah, it was like the oddest situation, you know. Like, right. I always thought that we were just destined for success just off of that story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know,
how things fell into place.
Right. But yeah, so those are the 4 separate entities under See Here, and Science Parkway,
right,
as well. And I've used some of their music too, but they and we just work as a family to support each other, lift each other up. And as we promote each other, as we promote one, we promote each other. So if Science Parkway has a show in New York, which they do on Tuesday, then we would have to each time they promote See Here in Science Parkway, they promote comedian CP, Tommey Walker,
right? And
especially with this being a digital age,
right? So
yeah, that's how it's going. It's a family, just love, creative, and we all work with each other on each other's projects, and you know, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be around.
I like to hear that. With speaking of like creative energy, I want to know like what really gets your creative energy going, like your creative process as an artist.
Oh man, it varies. Some things come to me every day, every single day. After meditation, I go into the world and I'm looking for a positive life experience. Okay. So like kind of like a game to like this is my positive life experience of today, life-changing experience. You know what I'm saying? But it comes to me when I'm talking to the clients. I'm working on my personal exhibit right now, But creation, my inspiration comes from many different places. Many different places. I just try not to sleep on it. If it comes, I try to act, try to write it down, and build on it, on everything.
Speaking of dope, your Crazy Dope mixtape. Let's talk about that. Like, what brought that on? What made you want to do that mixtape?
I was working with a lot of great artists, you know what I mean? And the idea came from a few artists that I was working with that everything is about exposure, So I'm like, if with the Crazy Dope, it'll be a dope, like a mosh pit of artists, artists that are known and artists that aren't known, and I'm thinking that would give the lesser known artists exposure, along with giving my work exposure, because each person on the mixtape is someone is a client of mine. So it was just a dope cross promotion idea that I thought of, to put it out there and give away for free, and to promote just the great work and the great music.
That's love. I definitely can appreciate that, because that's something that you didn't have to do, but it ended up being something that was very beneficial for the artists that were on it. A lot of people were heard.
I'm still hearing about it today. Like, it's crazy. I didn't think that it's gonna have the impact that it did.
Yeah, I remember I kept hearing like Crazy Dope, and like it was all over blogs. It got a lot of love shown. So that's a good look, definitely. As far as your most gratifying moment, like what makes you proudest with your work? Like what makes you like, wow, I really did that type of thing?
I guess it would have to be the fact that I can literally I can create anything. It was a moment, it was a day where because everything is about technique and tools. So if you master your tools, in technique, then everything is possible. Anything is possible. So the day that I realized that anything that a client can say, Thomas, I want this, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like I was overjoyed. I could do anything. I could say yes. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that was a very gratifying moment. And the most gratifying thing is the joy that I get when a client or bringing an artist's idea to life. You know what I'm saying? Like to have a raving client that's happy that I brung something that they saw in their mind's eye to fruition. It means a lot.
With doing all three of the Finally Famous mixtape covers, what has it been like to grow with Sean in a way? Like, you did that so long ago and then you guys have progressed together. So what has it been like to grow over the years and like to watch him grow as an artist?
It's been amazing. Sean's a good friend of mine. He sits in on the artwork. He has a very integral part with his branding and everything. But to see it, it's been surreal. Very surreal. It's been crazy. I was just watching him on Jimmy Kimmel the other day, just my chest out. It's amazing. I just feel blessed to be able to see the situation blossom, and to lend a helping hand.